Everyone, and we're here taking a look at Numantia. Is a game released on Steam last week, I believe, on the 25th of October. Produced and published by Rico Technology, available on Steam for $20 right now. And it is a turn-based strategy tactics game, which let's just get as usual, let's just get the summary out of the way first. So the combat, it's a little iterative, pretty typical of the genre. The UI's essentially unfinished. Not a big fan of the way they did the UI, but on the campaign map here, I like it a lot better. So Numantia, the game is about the Roman conquest of Spain, or occupation of Spain, and we are a Roman garrison, a Roman legion, trying to suppress some resistance. So the barbarians over here, zoom out, this is our Roman camp, and our opponents are the resistance over here, Numantia. That's who we're trying to suppress. And you can play either side. I think that's really cool. So you can play as Romans or Numantia. I've chosen to play as the Romans. I played a lot of Roman Total War as a kid, so I really have an affinity for the ancient Roman style. But you can also play as the barbarians, which, it's a little rude to call them barbarians, but it's effectively what they would be here, especially from the Roman point of view. Consider it a little bit of roleplay. And I really like this. I like the limited scope. There's characters. They have heroes in the game. They act in combat, but also they act as your actual characters in the story. As you go along, go through events, make choices that impact the campaign and impact the battles. I really like you manage your supplies, manage items, hire new units, manage your army. I really like that part of the game. Much more than the combat, just because the combat's kind of typical. It's very exactly what you'd expect as far as combat is concerned. So let's go to our camp. There should be an event available. There it is. Let's go look at that event. And here's the camp. You got buildings that each do different stuff. You can go to the Praetorium, go to the barracks to hire new units, go to the Praetorium to manage our armies, go to the market to buy stuff. And these other things don't actually have uses, but are where events can spawn. That gives you some idea of where in the camp certain things are happening, what the theme of the events are. Hey, do you remember that letter you wrote for Acelio? Do you think you could write one for me too? And these are a couple of the characters, Nerva and Corvinius. The characters are a little simple. Nerva's kind of like a noble, knightly, heroic character. Corvinius is a bit more of a brute. And then you have a character, I believe his name is Icilius. He's a bit more of a in-between, he's a bit more moderate than either of these two. So Claudius wants to write a letter to Claudia. The infamous Corvinus has a little heart after all. What brothel was she raised in? They're soldiers, like to jab at each other. Nerva laughs, and Corvinus is going to slap him in the face. Shut up and start writing. Oh, only one is literate, of course. Not, particularly uncommon for the time. Write a letter for Corvinus? Do not write it. Oh, of course you write a letter for Corvinus. Some of the options, I don't know why you would refuse to write a letter for your fellow officer. That seems really rude. He just wants to write a letter to his girlfriend. Obviously, I'm going to help him do that. Tell her I'm sorry for not having thought about it before, for the way I acted, for not being there when the... Uh-oh. Did we just get into, some heavy material? When I started looking at the game, it's hard for Corvinus to continue. Nerva, in an attempt to help him, writes an emotional apology letter, still not exactly knowing the motive. Nerva reads the letter aloud to Corvinus, who listens carefully. Once Nerva is finished, Corvinus grabs the paper and throws it in the fire. What are you doing? As some catharsis, Corvinus grabs him by the throat and throws him on the ground, knife in hand. Okay. A word of this to anybody, I'll cut your fingers off. Okay, so Corvinus is a little unbalanced. Nerva looks perplexed as Corvinus backs off. Alright, so Corvinus is a little unbalanced. Like we said, he's maybe a bit more on the edge than the other characters. Let's go check out this other event now. Through the flames, Corvinus and Icilius have sighted a large number of Numantians crossing the field. Corvinus proposes a trap for them. If we burn several points around the crop, the fire will do the rest. Our men might get caught in the flames, Icilius responds. Corvinus tries to assure him, I won't put them in any danger, I'll give them a warning. So here's the more significant choices. The choices that have more impactful effects on the gameplay versus impacts just regarding the characters and their story development. So let's set fire to the crops. We're going to pursue. Let's set fire to the crops. I'm interested to see what happens. Corvinus sets fire to the crops, forcing the Numantians to retreat. They're ambushed by the rest of the troops. In spite of the smoke and confusion, nobody's injured, and the Romans finish off their rebels swiftly. The crops are ruined, so we should lose supplies, probably. Yeah, minus 500 supplies. That's alright. Also lose a lot of morale. You think you'd gain morale for so effortlessly killing them, but I guess we don't like lacking food. So that decision, we avoided a battle, looks like, but we lost food and morale. And morale kind of acts as an entire army modifier outside of combat. It determines what level morale they start at, and then in the battle, you can lose and gain morale as the fight goes on, of course. Let's go find this next event. We can just click here. Numantia. We could look for it on the map. We don't need to do that. We just click on the event. Numantia, allied with Numantia, is sending them men and grain. This worries the Roman Senate since it strengthens the Numantian strategic position and creates a disadvantage for the Roman armies planning a potentially prolonged confrontation halfway through winter. The order to attack comes down from Rome itself. Preparations need to be made to siege Numantia, indirectly weakening Numantia. Oh, we're setting up a siege. That's exciting. I'm down for that. I'm into that. Looks like we're starting a battle, though. Alright, so here's our little pre-battle screen. 14 total troops you can bring into combat. Ooh, I should have hired more. I didn't realize we're kind of low on soldiers. Throwing a couple of cavalry. Looks like that's actually it. We're going to this combat a unit short. Let's throw a shield. Let's give it to these Hastades. I should also look for new equipment to buy. I just have the Shield of the Republic. And I haven't looked to buy anything else. We have a lot of injured troopers. This might not work out that well. What's the mission? What's the mission say? Just a large map with a lot of snow. Alright, well, we have elephants. The elephants are very powerful. So let's try to... Ooh, they're purebred elephants. I didn't realize. So let's just make do with what we have. We're missing one unit. We should still be fine. Some battles get kind of difficult. Some are easier than others, as you would expect. And here we're going to show you what my primary experience with the combat has been. And it is, well, first of all, ouch, we have like no morale. First of all, the deployment screen is obnoxious, and this is a big problem that goes throughout the game, is that, so here we have these equites selected. I can move them around to deploy them anywhere we want. Simple enough, exactly as you would expect. Alright, so the cavalry, let's deploy them on the flank. These auxiliary Celtiberians, Celtiberians, because they'd be from Iberia, right? That's where it's Iberian Peninsula. Celtiberians. You think I could just click on them, right? Just select them, move them? Nope, doesn't work. You have to space, and then you go to the next unit. In order to get to a unit you specifically want, you have to space all the way through them. Ugh. It's awful. Just let me click. This game has this weird control thing going on where they didn't fully incorporate the mouse into everything. You can't play with a gamepad. It supports a gamepad, but you're trying to play with the mouse and keyboard, which is a strategy game. I feel like it's more standard to play a strategy game with mouse and keyboard versus a gamepad. So if you're trying to play with the mouse and keyboard, though, the game refuses to cooperate and have a sensible mouse and keyboard control scheme, because like half of your mouse inputs are ignored for no discernible reason. They only work on some things some of the time, and it's painful. Let's get our elephants, let's get our elephants up here. Elephants, you gotta be front and center. You're gonna be doing some damage. You're gonna be the workhorse here. Alright, start the battle. Should be good enough deployment. The battles take place according to an initiative system, which kind of occurs in blocks according to army, which seems a little overly complex. So, like cavalry, as you can imagine, has high initiatives. They're going first. And then everyone on their army of that initiative will go, and then everyone in our army of the same initiative will go, and it'll trade off in those initiative blocks between armies. Alright, let's just charge up into these. Cav, you get bonuses for flanking, so this blue is where you can move the units. And want to charge behind them, hit them in the flank. You get used to doing this, because flanking, there's no zones of control or attacks of opportunity or anything like that. You're always free to move your full distance, unless something's directly blocking you. And you get bonuses for flanking. So you and your opponents are constantly dancing around each other to get flanking attacks. Pretty much the only attacks you do are flanking attacks. Because if you wanted to counterattack, you just run around back, hit us in the back. These guys hit us in the back. After that, we run around their backs, hit them in the back. So, yeah, no, you don't really control the battlefield. You just keep running to the other one's flanks to attack them. We have way less morale than they do. That's terrible. And they hit us super hard. I might actually lose this The first battle I lose, of course, when I'm trying to record it. When else? When else would it happen? Also, I have ranged units, of course. They attack from range, as one would expect. You charge right. That might actually kill this unit. No, they didn't do nearly as much damage as I expected. They have a lot of cavalry and a scary line. They're all full HP, and your units do retain damage in between battles. So unless you give them time to recover, you'll go into battle with depleted units. So that I do kind of like that, because that encourages you to maintain more units than you can bring into battle. So it's not, you can't just constantly stay on the bare minimum number of units. You have to, or you're encouraged to hire over that, so you can trade in fresh units with damaged and weakened units. Honestly, see down here we have abilities, but in order to, man, again, I can't click on here. I can't mouse through. There's buttons involved. I have to press those buttons to activate these abilities. If I want to see what his abilities do or what his stats are or anything about passive, I have to hold Alt, then click on the unit. We zoom in, and then I can mouse over them. And then sometimes not even get like a description of what's happening. And sometimes the ability descriptions, they extend past this box, and then you can't even read them all. It feels super sloppy. Let's throw some spears at this guy. Throw some javelins, pardon. Or pila? I'm not sure that's the same. I'm not sure it's the same kind of javelins that Velite is using. But that is a form of Roman javelin. Knock that guy right off his horse. The elephant, one of my favorite things. So the units, as they take damage, individual models in the unit are destroyed, and they have cute little death animations. It is so satisfying when you see this elephant run into a horde of guys, and they just scatter everywhere because you hit them super hard and kill some of the models. It is incredibly satisfying. Also, good news, if your heroes die, you do not automatically lose. They could have done that, and people wouldn't have... I mean, people probably would have been annoyed because it's an awful decision, but probably justifiable. But they didn't do it, and it's a great idea not to do that. We're getting our butts kicked. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm not sure if we can pull this one out. They have a lot of damage going on. They use the guard ability there, gives them a small shield. One thing I need to be better about doing is using abilities. I've been kind of avoiding it because the UI, like I have covered, the UI and controls are not particularly strong in this game. And get the flank bonus as much as we can. Take out these units one at a time. Help drain their morale. And Principes. You're very weak. Get this cavalry. Guess we take out all their cavalry and just beat up their infantry with our elephants and our heroes. That might be in a good spot. So here we move. And then we want to hit 3 to activate guard mode. Right there. And then, hold up. Are you even doing what I'm telling you to do? Okay, just move here. Move. Then we'll just move. Move there. And then guard mode. Okay, we got him to do what I wanted to do. It would just needlessly... Just let me, like, click here. He moves here. Then let me do my next action. If I want to do an ability, just let me click on it and select where I'm doing it. It's poorly executed controls and UI, which is sad, because the combat, although it is pretty typical, it's not bad. I mean, it's fine. It works totally normal. It works. It works well. You get flanking bonuses. You get bonuses for being your units. You get bonuses for charging enemies as they units as they fight. They take damage. They become weaker. The combat's totally functional. It's just I really wish the UI and controls were improved, because it really takes me out of it when I'm fighting with the game to tell it what I want it to do. And I find myself considering the battles kind of just busy work in between managing my Roman campaign of occupation. I deal with messengers from the Senate and what they want, and how do you respond to that. You also have this yellow circle around here. It's kind of like this going for it bonus. You can extend your movement by 1, but you take a big hit to morale. I guess you're pushing the soldiers too hard and they get tired or something, and then they throw a fit. Now move here, activate your ability, and face that way. You guys get your little shield up as well. Of course, they have a variety of units. I can show you that after this battle. After we try to... as we either try to recover, or we lose and have to restart. I can show you the variety units from the barracks. One thing I hate is that these guys move real slow. Some of your units are incredibly slow, and these maps are needlessly huge. I don't understand why these maps are so big. It's not that huge of a deal, because you start out, like you saw how far away we started out from one another, so it seems like a pretty decent distance to start for each armies to start away from each other, but the maps are so huge. Look at all this room down here. We have room for like another 4 battles. Just 18 battles could be going on this map. We could fit another like 100 units in this map. Why does it have such a huge grid for this battle right here? I fit this entire battle on one screen, no problem. It's not going to be going, very unlikely for it to be expanding beyond this. The ranged units can do a little skirmishing, a little shoot and scoot, but not enough to justify these huge maps. I kind of have a suspicion they were a little more, maybe bit off a little more than they could chew with the map design, or having more ambitious plans for scale that didn't quite work out. So that's the only explanation I can think of. These maps are ridiculous. They're so big. Never gonna have a battle that large in this game. I can't. Well, maybe not never. I have not played till the late game. For all I know is I'm about just finished chapter 3, or finished chapter 3 some time ago, a few battles ago. So whatever that tells you about the length, because I don't know how many total chapters there are. So I'm not at the very beginning of the game, probably closer to the middle. But I can't imagine any of the battles being large enough to justify the size of the map. Taking a ton of damage. Ranged units do a ton of damage, and of course you can't counterattack the ranged units. Yeah, it's looking pretty bad. Can you get there and shoot those guys? You can get here and shoot these guys. Which is not ideal, but the cav. Ideally, we'd be doing a little bit of damage to weaken this unit. Elephants, get them. The elephants and the heroes are going to be what carry us through this, if anything at all. Ouch, took a lot of damage. Elephants not traditionally good against cavalry, however, because the elephants would actually scare, or the horses would actually scare the elephants. Good job, Aselius. The heroes are very strong. It is a little weird, because this game takes itself just seriously enough that having these individual soldiers run around and terrorize the battlefields is kind of weird. So you see, you have these full units, these groups, these squadrons of soldiers in formation. They're acting together. You move them around together. They fight together. But then the heroes, you just have one dude standing alone in the field of snow, surrounded by enemies, cutting them down. Which is, I mean, it's fun. I'm down for heroics. But the rest of the game takes itself kind of seriously. So then, this is a weird juxtaposition between having events about, like, serious matters. Like, you saw Corvinius is apologizing for some weird, potentially troublesome things. We burned crops. We can repress the villagers. There's some, kind of serious things going on, as well as just the natural violence of the game. And then you have just these individual units in, like, you can have Astati, Principes, Triarii, or just the individual dude with the spear causing terror. And of course, you zoom in. Watch Asilius stab dudes in the throat. Good job, Asilius. Hit these guys in the butt. Nerva's actually about to go down. Nerva does a lot of damage, so I'll be really sad if she goes down. If he goes down. Ooh, get the slingers. I was taking down the ranged units. Is great because they're not very good fighters, so we can hit them. Did you guys actually lose a unit and they didn't lose any? You're garbage. Guys, garbage. It's inappropriate. Oh, good job, Nerva. Just killed all 3 of them. 92 damage. That's why I keep Nerva alive, but his HP is very, very low, as we can clearly see. We have a couple full units of Roman soldiers. Maybe with the elephants and the heroes, we can cut down these Numantians. Hit that unit again. They'll be less able to defend themselves because we just attacked them. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Heroes of Might and Magic, the way the combat works with counterattacking and, of course, the whole grid system. And the stacking effect, even. Which you can't stack if you like good in a game like Heroes of Might and Magic, but the fact that the stack gets weaker as it takes damage. It gets weaker offensively. Does remind me a little bit of Heroes. Heroes of Might and Magic. Enough games with heroes in the title, I can't really just say heroes anymore. and have a clear meaning of what you're saying. Oh no. Oh, I've taken a lot of damage. Okay, want to hit these slingers? Do some damage, try to slow down their attacks. Slow down the amount of damage they can put out. Oh, there goes another unit of infantry. More of our, I think it was more Principes. Oh, there goes more of them. Okay, this got out of hand. Should have recruited that one more unit. Actually, should have recruited more units than that, so our weakened units could rest, and we could engage fresh units. Failed to do that, and now the Roman occupation may be coming to a close here. So I'm just demonstrating how important it is to maintain a healthy army. It's demonstrative. Go ahead and hit these guys in the butt. See if we can get some extra damage out there. That's some damage. Took out a couple of them. Like 100. What's that? 180 damage. It's pretty good to me. Good job, Aselius. That's our key to victory here. Is having our heroes and these elephants wreck things, because our infantry just doesn't have. We just don't have enough. We didn't bring enough to the battle. And they are going to be hard to recover because although supplies, they have two different types of resources, supplies and food. I'm not entirely sure why yet. As far as I can tell, supplies are the limiting factor is silver, not supplies. I've never been in a situation in which I wanted to do something and I had the silver but didn't have the supplies. So the supplies seem kind of extraneous, kind of superfluous. Did we lose an elephant? We lost an elephant. Oh no, I think we're goners. Yeah, but I've not had a situation in which supplies were any concern at all, so I'm kind of wondering if they're just extra, if they're arbitrary, they don't need to be there. Not doing enough damage. If we were to win this, it'd be miraculous. Good job. Celtiberians. I'm trying. And Nerva, you can kill these guys. Yeah, good job, Nerva. Of course, when you destroy a unit, you get a morale bonus, which affects your efficacy in combat. Health, attack, movement. Pretty light on the stat side. You don't have a lot of crazy stats interacting. Pretty basic stuff. Alright, Corvinus. And these using the face. Corvinus is full HP. It's very promising. The heroes have a lot of HP. So which is kind of weird because they have these what otherwise feels like armies fighting each other. And then you have these Primarchs wading through everyone and just causing tons of damage. Which I wouldn't mind maybe like a small bodyguard unit around them. Like maybe if the heroes stand in the front and they have, a couple dudes behind them and I can justify it's like a bodyguard. Just to maintain the suspension of disbelief a little bit. Oh, you should just kill that guy, right? You failed to kill that guy. There's only two of you. I understand. I'm not going to blame you for that. Alright, elephants. Tim Elephant. Go get him. I only killed one there. don't want to lose our elephants because I can't actually. I don't think I can actually recruit elephants right now. So I'd rather keep this one alive. Like I said, units get weaker as they take damage and lose models, so these low model units aren't nearly as threatening, so I can kind of ignore them. You do get a bonus for finishing them off morale-wise, but I like the idea of just removing their ability to cause damage, rather than leaving them weak, so I'm not so worried about it. That's a ton of damage. It's just talking about taking tons of damage. Oh no, and then Nerva's gonna die. Oh no. Nerva's charge bonuses were pretty important to this battle. Gacilius, dead, basically dead. So we have a few units of infantry that we really want to take care of. We might be able to barely squeeze out this battle. It's going to be a desperate fight. Stadi, you can't reach anyone particularly useful, so go over there and kill those guys. If you can't kill this one guy, I'm gonna be mad. You didn't kill the one guy. You see how frustratingly weak they get when they lose models? The answer is super weak. These ranged units are gonna bite the bucket for sure. Did decent damage, only killed one of them though. Corvinus, you can't move anywhere particularly useful either. Move up here and execute. Or you can go down here. You know what? Go down here and hit these slingers. These Catrati. Really expect you to kill them both. A little disappointed, honestly. That's one model down, so these ranged units should not be doing very much damage. 36. Excuse me? I just said they should not be doing very much damage. I just got hit for 36. That's a lot more damage than I expected, game. Hey, elephants. Or elephant. Let me hit. Yeah, 7. That's more what I'm expecting. Elephant, you should kill this guy and counterattack. No, it's not dead yet. There's only one horseman. One horseman. Let's focus on what I interpret as the threats, which are these large units of infantry. Knock a few out of the way. Knock a few. Smack them. Alright, you got one, dude. Elephants are getting disturbingly low on health, though. Don't need to move behind him, we're already behind him. 100, good job. So, did you like crit him? Hey, did you crit him? Looked like a crit to me. I have 2 heroes left and 1 strong unit of infantry. And they have, what, 3 almost full units of infantry? 1, 2, 3, yep. Alright, he's chasing around the ranged unit, and I'm okay with that. Buys the other unit some time. Gacilius. Attack them in the back. You have good morale, you're feeling good about this. Kill 2 of them. The more damage we do, the weaker they are. Oh, you're dead. Poor Stati. No, they already counterattacked. You should be fine. Yeah, you snuck in your 9 damage. Good job. Lead them a little further away. Do a negligible amount of damage to them. Alright, they're down to a couple stragglers. Corvinus. If you have to move next to an enemy, might as well kill them. Not too worried about these guys, but you couldn't get to this enemy. Now without sprinting, and he has no morale, and I don't want to be aggravating that. And just speaking of not aggravating, low health enemies. You can leverage these equities to try to chase down low health enemies. Help deal with their morale. Nope, still not dead. Yeah. Alright, killed that unit. That unit of Cav. From them attacking us. Elephant, you probably die here. Just flew a guy over your head though. Yep, the elephants are down. Sad, the elephants are doing really well. Goodbye, elephants. Appreciate the time you invested in improving my my battles. Thought that guy didn't die for a moment, and I was very confused how Icelius could let a guy go without dying. Alright. What's the battle looking like? We have a unit way down there. Decently strong unit of infantry. Almost full strength unit of infantry, and then that almost full strength unit of infantry. We have a couple heroes and 1 infantry. So yeah, desperately outnumbered, I guess is what you could say. We get him, Icelius. You're also very hurt though. Took out 2 of them though. Makes that way weaker. Go hit the two stack. I'm still shocked he didn't kill them either. He did some help, it took it from 2 to 1, but with only 2 models, I really expect them to go down. Alright, that means weakening. We might barely pull this out. He shot me in the butt for 40 damage, killed one of my guys. I don't like this guy at all, so we need to kill that guy. This guy just does a stupid amount of damage. Alright, unit down. This unit's coming back. That one should die to the counterattack. Alright, 3 left. 2 of them are almost dead, so really just 1 left. We have 4 units to do so. Your morale is high enough you can charge in. So that's the bonus move. Cost some morale, but we're able to move 1 space closer, which can catch the enemy off guard. So we did lots of damage. Icelius went down, but we did lots of damage. Corvinus, it's on you, buddy. Wrap this up. Also, kill that guy that does a shocking amount of damage. Give him Corvinus. Easily the most difficult battle I've had so far. I did kind of handicap myself accidentally by not giving myself a 13th warrior, 14th warrior, 13th warrior. Great movie, by the way, Antonio Banderas. But by not giving myself a 14th unit. It's a little unnecessarily difficult. Wish I could go back. I wish I can go back once in the battle deployment screen and say, wait, hold on, gotta change up my army. There's no questions asked. You just have to remember to do it. Which I'm all about. You know, I'm okay with expecting things out of your player. But it wouldn't hurt to be like, hey, you can here's what you can do. Say, hey, you need to recruit units before you go into battle. Instead of waiting, wow, that guy's shield just went flying off his arm. It looks like we win this, because they're too weak. This phalanx is going to be too weak to hold out, and this guy's only 1 unit who has, like, no HP. So it looks like we did just barely win this combat. Let's hit the slingers so we can't run away. The AI rarely does so, but I just want to be sure. Our new round, 1 guy, he's going to get counterattacked wherever he attacks. That might be enough to kill him. It was not, in fact, enough to kill him. Now it's enough to kill him, though. I super did. Alright, combat is resolved in our favor, barely. It's a victory, we took a ton of damage, so it's going to be very expensive to replenish our units. It's just not, I don't like all the skulls on that screen. The post-battle report. Nurto Briga has been conquered, and Numantia's spy lines are gravely affected. And there's chapter 4. So I just showed you, I guess that was the climax of chapter 3. Chapters are pretty short. Winter is over, the soldiers welcome reinforcements with cheers and applause. Meanwhile, the advisors review the resources and silver delivered from Rome. Thank goodness, because we desperately needed it. 300 silvers, 500 supplies. Let's not have to recruit some new guys. Go to the base camp, and let's get some recruitment in. I'll show you how that looks like. Can I please go to the base camp? I'll show you what that looks like real quick. So go to the barracks. And here's where we recruit new units. We have a new hero, Scipio. Hero, Praetorian Guard, Heavy Melee Infantry. Welcome to the party. And your Triarii, Principes, and Hastati, all that we can purchase from this menu. This is what we actually currently have. Purchase from this menu. Also Equites, Numidian Horsemen, Gallic Cavalry, so heavy cav, missile cavalry, and kind of a light cav. A variety of ranged units. And elephants can appear here, and other beasts. What miscellaneous, I suppose you can put right there. But who would I buy? Well, we have. What do we have? We got reinforcements. We have 4 units of infantry. We have no cav and no range, so we need to buy some cavalry. Let's get 60 damage, 300, 350. The Gallic cavalry appear to be the best. They're also expensive. 50 food. Make sure we get a couple of those. Get like 4 of these guys. Good for us. And grab some slingers. I want slingers for the extra range. Don't do as much damage, but the extra range would keep them much safer. Alright, is that... How much money do I have left for that? Also, you can't see your money. Like, in this screen, I can't see my total money. I can't. It's right here. It should be more prominent, I feel. I didn't even notice until I just complained about not being able to see it. And oh wait, it's right here. That tells us our money and food. Don't like that position. It's kind of weird. It's off this card telling us it's off the little information card. Not a huge fan of that positioning. Let's hire another unit. Actually, let's go to the market. See if there's anything to buy at the market. Let's head over to the market. Seasoned Centurion. Unit takes bonus damage. Oh, okay. Unit takes 50% damage from adjacent allied unit. So it's kind of a guard shield type deal. Yeah, I'll buy that. It gives us a new ability to assign to somebody. And then we go to the event. We can just click on that, take us straight to the event. Take us straight to the event. Intercatia. Troops prepare to take the city of Intercatia. The consul has been clear. The city is a priority in the events of the peninsula. The army has just enough time for basic preparations. Scipio travels with the army as legatus. He has not defeated Carthage yet, but his name resounds amongst Roman ranks. When Rome's courage was failing to enlist voluntarily, Scipio stepped forward, respected by his subordinated. Scipio is defined as a figure they can follow into the most brutal battle without hesitation. That's a good reputation. Excellent. And that leads us directly into a battle. Alright, well, let's go do our look for Numantia. The battles are okay. You saw the battles. I wish the UI was cleaned up and the controls were finished. It just feels a little unfinished on the combat side. But I like the campaign. I like that we're focused on the Roman occupation of the Iberian Peninsula. Like, how many games are about that? Like, I love the change in setting. I love the unique setting. You can play either side. Plenty of units to choose from, things to buy, events, characters to interact with. So you choose what the characters say and do, and then of course, that not only affects their story and their character development, it affects the campaign map, and I find that pretty compelling. So, if the game was almost just... I almost wish there was just no battles, and I just, like, made strategic decisions on the campaign map and interacted with these characters as they went around their Roman lives. Just because the battles are kind of like, mostly just clicking behind and hitting attack. I'm barely using abilities. There aren't a lot of active abilities. Remembering to use them is difficult. It's hard to even read all the ability text because they go off the thing and you can't read it anymore. is the abilities are just kind of not fun to use, not easy to use, and they're not big. They're not that impactful. So maybe make abilities a little more. If the abilities had a little more oomph to them, that might make combat a little more interesting. But otherwise, it's a fine game. Check it out on Steam. Available last week, so right now for $20. Thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe for more fun. Twister Alex Deal. I'll see you next time, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.